What if your boss doesn't respect you? Not because of your skills, but because of one sentence you haven't said yet. In the next minutes, you're going to hear a story that shows how to flip a power dynamic in just 48 hours. As you listen, think about the one conversation you've been avoiding: visibility, salary, or authority. Let me tell you a story. This is about Sarah. Real person, real situation. It's 7:12 a.m., downtown train humming. Sarah has a paper cup of coffee warming her hands and a dashboard open on her phone. She's a product analyst, the kind who can spot a leaking cohort the way a mechanic hears a loose belt. The city is yawning awake, but she's already scanning a graph with a 12% test lift. Not a guess, a clean result. She smiles, small and private. Delivering is what she does. At the office, her manager Michael is a good person on a bad schedule. Too many meetings, not enough sleep, inbox stuck at 99 plus. He likes fast answers, quick pivots, big promises. In meetings, he moves like a chess clock. Tap, tap, next person. Sarah is precise, thorough, careful. Lately, careful has been treated like secondary. Wednesday, stand up. The room smells like whiteboard markers. Sarah breathes in. The experiment shows a 12%. Michael, let's circle back. He turns to Tom. Nice job on the experimentation roadmap. Tom nods like he's just been knighted. Sarah designed that roadmap. Heat climbs her neck. Mouth goes dry. She thinks, if I push back now, I look needy. The meeting moves on without her. By lunch, she's replaying it. She could have said, actually, I led that, but the voice in her gut said, not now. She tells herself the numbers will speak. Then a message from Michael. Need your analysis by EOD. Keep it tight. No context, no ownership, just a task tossed like a ball. That night, she stares at her ceiling. 3 mistakes surface. First, silent agreement with a bad frame. If you're cut off and let it slide, the unspoken agreement is, your input can be interrupted. Silence becomes consent. Second, asking for approval instead of alignment. Is it okay if I hands the steering wheel to someone already driving 5 cars? Third, pushing data before designing perception. Respect follows perceived authority first, then evidence. She's been carrying the heaviest backpack uphill, thinking the weight would impress people. She opens a note and types, reset. She recalls 2 tools. When you push, people push back. When you label and ask, people reveal. And people stay consistent with what they've publicly committed to. 2 lines rise to the surface. It seems like, what would it take? Thursday, she books a 12-minute 1.1 with Michael. She doesn't ask if she can. She proposes a window, 9:01 to 9:12. Subject, clearing decision friction for Monday. She writes a short, calm script. It seems like my updates are landing late in the conversation. It sounds like visibility on ownership is unclear. Late in the conversation? Then a bridge. Last month you said discipline testing was a top priority. To stay consistent with that, I'll be the DRI for experiments through Q4. A value exchange. I'll publish a Friday pre-read with the 3 decisions you need in bold, so you spend 5 minutes, not 30. Stakes. 2 competitors shipped similar tests last week. We have a 4-week window to learn or trail. And the key sentence. What would it take for you to feel completely confident introducing me as the owner of the experimentation roadmap on Monday? The line isn't demanding. It invites a path. It assumes the future, Monday's meeting, where Michael introduces her as the owner and it asks him to co-create the steps to get there. It's a door that opens inward. 9 a.m., small meeting room, flickering light. Michael arrives with a laptop under his arm, phone in his hand. Quick one, he says. Quick is perfect, she answers. She breathes once, slow, and begins. It seems like my updates are landing late in the conversation. His eyes narrow in attention. It sounds like we're optimizing for speed over context. Bandwidth, he says, and honestly, too many owners. Too many owners, she mirrors. Design, data science, PMs, everybody weighs in. So it's bandwidth and clarity, not intent, she summarizes. Last month you said discipline testing was a top priority. To stay consistent with that, I'll be the DRI for experiments through Q4. I'll make it easier on you. Every Friday I'll ship a one-pager with decisions in bold so you don't need to dig. Does that create any risk I'm not seeing? He pauses. Just that you get overloaded, and I need design and the VP aligned. Fair. To exchange value, I'll take the next on-call rotation so design frees up, and I'll draft the VP note for you to send. What would it take for you to feel completely confident introducing me as the owner of the experimentation roadmap on Monday? He scans his calendar. If design nods and I can send the VP a clean note tonight. Done, she says. I'll message design and put the draft in your inbox by 5. Anything else reduce your confidence? Head shake. That's it. She steps into the corridor and feels a click in her ribcage, like a seatbelt finding its slot. Not relief. Direction. Here's the timeline. The respect shifts Thursday when the commitment is shaped, it locks Friday when the last objections fall, and Monday is just the public reveal. That's the truth behind 48 hours. At 12:30, she pings the design lead, Maya. Got 6 minutes today to avoid Monday confusion? Want to make sure we both win? They jump on a call. It seems like the overlap between design and experiments is creating bottlenecks, she says. Maya laughs. Creating? It's the bottleneck. What's your biggest nightmare if we name a single DRI? Sarah asks. That design gets pulled into approvals we don't own, and we lose velocity. Last month, Michael set a standard single owner per test, Sarah says. To stay consistent and protect your time, I'll own the experimentation track end-to-end through Q4. I'll publish pre-reads Fridays and call out exactly when design input is needed so you can plan. What would make you feel completely confident that this helps design, not hurts it? Take the next on-call sprint so my team can focus, Maya says, and create a Slack channel where only decisions land, not debates. Done, Sarah says. I'll absorb the on-call and create digest XP decisions with a single rule. Only decisions. If debate starts, it moves to a thread or a short call. And one more, Maya adds. If we try it for 2 weeks and it slows us, we revisit. Deal, Sarah says. I'll write that into the pre-read. At 4:56 p.m., Sarah sends the one-pager to Michael. Subject, for your Monday intro, Sarah Truard DRI for experiments, Q4. In the body, a crisp summary, the 3 decisions he'll need weekly, and design aligned, taking next on-call to free their bandwidth. She ends with, as discussed, this gives you a single throat to choke and a single back to pat. At 5:03 p.m., she posts in the team channel, experiment pre-read will land Fridays. Decision channel, XP decisions. Testing cadence unchanged, ownership clarified. No victory lap, just a standard. Friday morning, she runs a tiny test inside the bigger one. She pings Michael. Happy to keep our check-in to 6 minutes. Just to clear any friction so your Monday intro is clean. Does a quick call at 4:25 cause any issues? The cause any issues framing makes yes safe, no safer. At 4:24, he asks, do you still need the check-in? It's his cut move. She replies, no problem skipping if everything's green. The 6 minutes are just to pre-remove any blockers so your Monday intro is crisp. Any issues with a quick call now? He sends a link. They jump on. He sounds tired. She keeps it tight. It seems like your biggest constraint is bandwidth, she opens. That and not confusing the VP, he says. Last month you set the single owner standard, she continues. To keep you consistent with that, I'll own experiments through Q4. Design's in, I'm taking the next on-call. Here's the note you can send the VP. If you were me, what would you worry about? That you'll burn out, he says, and that people don't route approvals to you. Good call-outs. I'll handle routing with the Friday pre-reads and the ERS XP decisions channel. On burnout, I'll block 90 minutes daily for deep work and say no to anything outside scope unless you want me to expand it. What would it take for you to feel completely confident introducing me as the owner of the experimentation roadmap on Monday? A beat. Nothing else, he says. I'll send the VP note now. Thank you, she says. What's the downside if we delay naming a DRI? We lose time, he answers, and we keep stepping on each other. So Monday protects time and people, she says. Anything else reduce your confidence? No, he says. Let's do it. Call ends. She sits, lets it settle. Respect clicked Thursday. Friday locked it. Monday is the broadcast. 2 days later, Monday. Fluorescent lights, cool air, movement without hurry. Stand-up begins. Michael clears his throat. Quick note, he says. Sarah is the DRI for experiments through Q4. If it touches tests, root approvals through her. She'll send Friday pre-read so we keep this tight. Silence for a half second. No fireworks, just gravity. Words land and stay. Tom glances over, a small nod. Maya taps an emoji. Sarah says, got it. Authority isn't loud, it's clean. Week 1, tiny results compound. A PM pings her with FYI and vague bullets. She replies, what's the decision you need from me? A data scientist drops a debate in Chart XP decisions. Sarah moves it to a thread, then posts a crisp decision. She stops writing, is it okay if I, and starts writing, to stay consistent with the standard you set, here's what I'll do and what I need. Calendar shifts, voice posture shifts. Then the ledger shows up. With her name on the roadmap, scope increases 10%. Not because she begged, because it's codified. 6 weeks later, HR sends a number, a 7.5% raise tied to impact and leadership. Ask Sarah the real change and she'll say this. Her throat stopped tightening in meetings. That's how respect feels when it arrives. Here's why it worked and how you can use it this week. 1. Audit the frame without blame. It seems like, and it sounds like, name the reality. When you name the dynamic, you stop being dragged by it. 2. Claim authority by bridging to consistency. Instead of, can I, say, last month you said X. To stay consistent, I'll do Y. People like to be coherent with their own words. You're not forcing, you're aligning. 3. Exchange value up front. Don't just ask for ownership. Reduce your manager's load. A 5-minute pre-read with decisions in bold. A clean channel with only decisions. One visible give creates disproportionate trust. 4. Set stakes and invite problem solving. 2 competitors shipped last week. Our window is 4 weeks. Then ask calibrated questions. How can we ensure credit maps to ownership? What would it take for you to feel completely confident? When people design the path, they walk it. Now, a quick application to pay, because authority and money often travel together. Imagine your comp lags your scope. You've updated job duties, but the title and salary stayed behind. Here's how Sarah's architecture maps to a salary conversation in under a minute. It seems like the main constraint is budget timing and equity across the team. It sounds like we calibrate adjustments during review cycles. During review cycles? Last quarter you set the standard that compensation matches scope and measurable outcomes. To stay consistent with that, here's the scope I've owned since April. DRI for experiments, decisions weekly, 10% increase in throughput. To exchange value, I'll continue reducing approval load with pre-reads and a single decisions channel. Given that, what would it take for you to feel completely confident approving a compensation adjustment aligned with this scope by the next review cycle? If they say not now, ask what's the cost if we delay aligning comp with scope? Then, what's the smallest step you'd need today to move this forward? You're not pushing, you're making the path visible and letting them commit to it. Back to Sarah. 3 weeks after Monday's announcement, the VP visits stand-up. Michael says, before we start, Sarah has a 2-minute readout on experiments. Sarah speaks in clean bullet sentences. No slides, clear decisions. The VP says, good, keep it tight like this. Later, Michael forwards her format to another director with one line. Steal this. Respect moving in the wild. If you felt a jolt when you heard that one sentence, trust it. The sentence isn't magic, it's a key that only works when it's cut to your door. You cut it with empathy, consistency, reciprocity, and clear stakes. Use it this week. Don't wait for timing, create it. 2 actions to take now. First, write your lines. 1 label, 1 mirror, 1 summary, 1 consistency bridge, 1 value exchange, 1 line on stakes, and the sentence. Read them out loud until your voice relaxes. Second, send a pre-read Friday. 1 paragraph of context, 3 decisions in bold, 1 if-then, and 1 line that says, "This reduces your time by X and keeps us consistent with Y." When you remove cognitive load, you become the person people respect. Remember that mistake most professionals make, relying on silent hard work to earn respect. Sarah did too. She waited for results to speak. Then she learned to design the frame and let the results echo inside it. Next time you face that conversation, you'll be ready. Share your biggest challenge in the comments and subscribe for new workplace persuasion tactics every week. If this helped, pass it to one colleague who needs more authority by Monday. Before you go, borrow Sarah's line and make it yours. What would it take for you to feel completely confident introducing me as the owner of this work by Monday?